हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू सागर शर्मा क्लासेस। आज की हम इस वीडियो में आपको एक इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक बताने वाले हैं, एक्सपोर्ट मार्केटिंग डिस्टॉर्शंस एंड बैरियर्स। whenever you do export marketing, what are the distortions and barriers you can face? So without delay we will start. So export marketing distortions refers to disruption in free trade caused by market imperfections, government policies, or unfair trade practices. There are various type of distortions that can you face in export marketing. First is exchange rate manipulation. There is artificial devaluation of the currency by some countries makes their exports cheaper, distorting fair competition. Like the currency manipulation, you can see in global trade can lead to trade imbalances. So exchange rate manipulation is one of the distortion. After that, export subsidies and dumping. Some government provides excessive subsidies to domestic exporters, leading to the unfair advantages in global markets, and dumping, selling products at a lower price in foreign markets than in the domestic markets, harming the local industries. So most important example is China has been accused of dumping steel and electronic products in various countries. So this is also a distortion in export marketing. Next one is trade agreements and the preferential treatment. Regional trade agreements like the USMCA, US, Mexico, and Canada may provide the preferential treatment to member countries, making it harder for non-members to compete. Like the African countries face difficulty exporting to the Western markets due to the stringent rules of origin. This can also be a distortion in export marketing. After that, government bureaucracy and inefficiencies of the system can also be a distortion. Slow export documentation, customs delays, excessive regulations, increased transaction costs for the exporters. Like for example, complex procedure in developing countries hinder small businesses from entering global markets. So this can be another distortion. Now we will talk about what are the barriers to export marketing. So barriers can be classified into two categories: tariff as well as non-tariff barriers. Tariff barriers also can be said direct restrictions on trade, and non-tariff barriers are the indirect obstacles or restrictions on trade. So what are the commonly tariff barriers that export marketer can face? Import duties, export duties, and anti-dumping duties. So import duties, like example, high custom duties make products expensive in foreign markets. Export taxes, some governments impose taxes on exported goods, discouraging trade. And anti-dumping duties, protective measures imposed by importing countries to counter the unfair pricing by exporters. So these are the tariff barriers. What are the non-tariff barriers? These are the quotas and import restrictions. What is the quota? Quota is the limit on the on the quantity of goods that can be imported. Examples: India's quantitative restrictions on agriculture imports. Technical standards and certification requirement can also be a non-tariff barrier because it comprises strict quality, health, and safety standard. Create compliances challenges like EU CE certification for electronic products, and sanitary and the psychosanitary measures. Restrictions based on food safety, plant and animal health standards, like European restriction on pesticide levels in agriculture imports. And another one is the bureaucratic red tape and custom procedures. Lengthy custom clearance, excessive paperwork, and corruption slow down trade. So many African and South Asian exporters face custom delays due to inefficient port infrastructure. This is also a non-tariff barrier. And the intellectual property rights barriers. Strict IPR laws in developed countries may prevent export of generic medicines from developing countries. And at last, there are political and economic barriers. Trade embargoes, economic sanctions, and the unstable political conditions disrupt export activities. Yeah, like US sanctions on Iran limit is trade with global markets. This is the example of political and economic barrier. After that, what are the challenges and how to overcome these distortions and barriers? So some points exporter must remember: diversify markets to reduce dependency on a single region, and exporter should also adapt to changing regulations and comply with international standards. Exporters should strengthen trade negotiations and participate in free trade agreements, and exporter leverage digital platforms and e-commerce to bypass digital barriers. So I think export marketing distortions and barriers, all the topics you have to understand. If there is any doubt, you can ask in the comment section of video. Thank you.